Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about how heat can be produced. You can't see heat, but you know it's there and when it's not there. Heat is the type of energy. It is also referred to as thermal energy. Let's talk about how heat can change forms. There are many ways that heat can change forms. One way is through burning. Another way that heat can change forms is through friction. Try rubbing your hands together. Does it feel warm to you after you stop? This is because of friction. Friction is the resistance of one object rubbing against another. The result of friction is heat. This is why in the wintertime, if you were to rub your hands together, they will keep you warm. One of the characteristics of heat is that it loves to travel. We know this because on hot days, heat tries to get inside our houses, and on cold days, heat tries to escape. This is why people flood their houses with this pink stuff called insulation. Insulation is what packs the walls of our house, and it makes it much harder for heat to travel, making it easier for us to control the temperature in our houses. Notice the picture of the jacket. The inside of the coat is filled with a warm, fuzzy feel. This is the insulation that I'm talking about when you put your jacket on and you don't want the cold to get in and you want the heat to stay inside on your body. A jacket is just like an insulator. It traps in that heat and lets the cold stay away. Heat travels in many different ways. One way is called conduction. Conduction is the transfer of heat between two substances that are on direct contact with each other. Think of it like a stove. If you were to put a metal pan, on a stove and cook your food in it, the food would need to get the heat, right? So the metals in the pan would have a great conductor to allow the heat to move into the pan to cook your food. A conductor in this case is an opposite of an insulator. Conductors is what allows heat to move through. Insulators are what slows heat from moving through. Another way in which heat travels is through gases and liquids. This process is called convection. As a gas or a liquid is heated, it warms, expands, and rises because it is less dense. When a gas or liquid cools, it becomes denser and falls. Think of a fireplace. How the fire in the fireplace warms the air, makes it expand, and rises to the top of the chimney. A hot air balloon works in the same way. The rising and cooling of the air makes the balloon go where the person wants it to go. The last way in which heat travels is through radiation. Radiation is when electromagnetic waves travel through space. These waves come from the sun, and they heat up objects on the earth. So, for instance, a house or a car can get really, really hot because the sun transfers these waves down to earth and the heat travels through them. This is why standing outside for too long can be very dangerous without sunscreen. Today, we have learned that heat can do many things. We have learned that it can be changed forms through either burning or producing friction with our hands. We also found that heat can be trapped through this process of insulation, either insulation in our walls or insulation in our jackets. We also found that it can travel and that it loves to travel. Heat can travel through convection on a hot air balloon or through conduction on a stove. We also found that heat can travel through the sun, through radiation. Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys learned a lot.